It's 4 days until Christmas, and today the name of Jesus that we're looking at is Son of God. And it says in Luke 1:32, when the angel spoke to Mary, she said, "You will be with child and give birth to a son, and you are to give him the name Jesus. He will be great and will be called the Son of the Most High." And this name of Jesus is probably a pretty obvious one. We can take it for granted quite a bit, knowing that he was and is the Son of God. But it is the key to the entire operation of what Jesus is doing. The fact that he has the authority and that he is directly tied to God. At the kids department, what we've been doing in our openings on our Connect groups and things, what we've been doing is going through some of the books of the Bible and talking about what is the overriding theme of that book. And in the New Testament, we've talked about the fact that the first 4 books, the Gospels, we have Matthew. The theme of that is that Jesus is king, and that shows his authority there. And in Mark, it talks more about Jesus being servant, and which is an exact opposite of king, it seems. In the book of Luke, it talks about Jesus and him being the perfect man, how he was fully God, fully man though, but just perfect in everything that he did. In John, though, the theme of that book is absolutely that Jesus is God's son. And I've told the kids that that is the key to the entire Christian belief, that there are so many people who do believe indeed that Jesus was a perfect person. Jesus was born into the line of royalty with King David in his lineage. We also know that Jesus came as a servant. People will probably agree with you all day long on those 3 things, but the 4th thing, him being God's son, is where it makes the difference. And there was a Bible school song that we did so many years ago that was called More Than Just a Good Man. And it's the same thing, same concept of this, that there are many people who believe in Jesus as a great prophet, as a perfect man, as a fantastic religious leader. But where they have the hang up is he truly God's son? And we as Christians, as Christ followers, that is what we hang on to, and that is what the key is. And so I want to encourage you to really not take that for granted, even though it is obvious that he is the Son of God. That is the key to so much of what we believe. And there are some great verses that I want to share with you as we close. I'm looking in Hebrews chapter 1, verses 1 and 3. It says, "In the past, God spoke to our forefathers through the prophets at many times and in various ways. But in these last days, he has spoken to us by his Son, whom he appointed heir of all things, and through whom he made the universe." In verse 3 is awesome. It says, "The Son is the radiance of God's glory and the exact representation of his being, sustaining all things by his powerful word." And so I really love those verses in Hebrews chapter 1. And I want to close by reading in John chapter 1, verses 14 and 18. And part of this is what Rich talked about yesterday in church on Sunday. It says that in verse 14, "The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only, who came from the Father, full of grace and truth." And I like it that they call him the one and only. And in verse 18, it says, "No one has seen God, but God, the one and only, who is at the Father's side, has made him known." And so I'm just so thankful that we do have Jesus, and one of his names is God's Son, and that also is the truth that we hold on to. And so as we get closer to Christmas, I hope that you have been really reflecting on the names of Jesus and really thinking about what those names mean to you personally. So we'll see you soon on Christmas Day.